Okay, so we're gonna have fucking Ratchet & Clank in 2016 as a movie. They're gonna have Sly Cooper the movie in 2017. You know, I know, because what's next? Jack and Dexter? Or something they're gonna talk about right here, right now. It's about fucking damn time! We have a Crash Bandicoot movie. Yes, you heard me. I spoke with a lot of people who also are Crash Bandicoot fans, just like me. Well, lower than half of them said it's a bad idea. But most of the people like me said it's a very great idea, because from my opinion, in the way how I see it, it could not only symbolize the beginning, you know, or should I say, no, the beginning, the returning Crash Bandicoot's former glory, you know. Not only that, but also he can grab not only the old Crash Bandicoot fans' attention, but also the new video game players who can pick up an interest of this character, which also they can also play not only the old ones, but also the new video games if they ever made them. But in some sort of way, I can see it as a great potential returning for Crash Bandicoot. Yes, a Crash Bandicoot movie, you know, it's about time to make it. It's about time. So I know, because from the last conference when I talked about, you know, when they were representing Tekken 5 and the other video game, which actually I don't actually recall the name, you know, one of the people I know who were, you know, wear this Crash Bandicoot T-shirt on it. You know, I can't remember the guy's name, but you know, he wear, you know, the Crash Bandicoot T-shirt on it, and of course, you know, it appears like it symbolizes a sneak peek, you know, something because it's gonna happen about Crash Bandicoot, and something is gonna be revealed in 2016, because if you all don't know, Crash Bandicoot's anniversary is coming next year, so something is gonna happen, something's gonna come, or for my opinion, it's possible some kind of an announcement, or for a new video game, or also a movie. That's right. I mean, it's 50-50 chance for a movie, but for video games, it's really high waiting. Yeah. Waiting. We had to be patient to see what's gonna happen there, you know, in this announcement, because after all, it is Crash Bandicoot's anniversary next year. So, okay, let's move on. So, the Crash Bandicoot movie is in order to build it. Like I said, it really is in order to build it, because, you know, not only, like I said before, not only it's gonna be, you know, bringing back Crash Bandicoot's glory, but also grab the attention of video game players, old Crash Bandicoot fans and new ones, to pick up interest on the character. And also, now when we talk about the plot, you know, it's very simple. It has to be something, you know, between Crash Bandicoot 1 and Crash Bandicoot 3 warped, in the way how I see, because the beginning has to have from the Crash Bandicoot 1, because a perfect Crash Bandicoot movie, like they were gonna deal with Ratchet & Clank, you know, how he became a Galactic Ranger and, you know, befriend Clank in some sort of way. If they're gonna make a movie of Crash Bandicoot, that's the way how it has to be built up. So the beginning, Cortex created him, something went, you know, wrong, and he escaped from the Cortex castle. He met with Coco, go on an adventure, and the finale, the first conflict between Cortex and Crash, and in the way how they build up, you know, to being like mortal enemies, and that's the end of the movie. So I mean, everybody knows when they try to create a movie from a video game character, like they did with also with Prince of Persia, you know, when you try to build up a movie from a video game, you know, everybody knows that the creators try to took every single, you know, different situation from the video games, put them all together, and try to build something new to make a perfect movie. So the movie has to be built up somewhere, you know, around Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3. When we talk about the 3, it has a bigger chance, you know, to make a perfect plot, you know, of the movie. But maybe, you know, maybe they can put something, you know, from each of the games and create something new. That's also, you know, a very big chance, you know, when we talk about the story. But you know, if they ever try to make a movie, what I really expect, you know, about this movie is, you know, to have action, to have adventure, comedy. Also, having like, that exactly the same video game feeling like, his old video games had and everything, like, the feeling like you're in the level, the feeling, of the boss fight and everything, that kind of feeling that I wish that the Crash Bandicoot movie had. The other things, when I talk about characters, it's I don't think that if they try to make a movie, I don't think they're gonna put Crash Bandicoot in it, because the main protagonists, in the way how I see it, are Crash, Coco, and Aku Aku, the Voodoo Mask, against Dr. Neocortex, Uka Uka, and his gang. That's the way how I see it. So, I mean, when we talk about the gang, well, I see like Dr. Neocortex, Uka Uka, Engine, definitely, Dingodile, Tiny, and how I see it, if we're gonna talk about time travel and everything, like in the third game, Dr. Nefarious Tropy. That's in the movie, that's the gang I see, perfect gang, enemy gang against Crash and his friends. Perfect, in the way how I see it, because Engine definitely, he's gonna be definitely in the Crash Bandicoot movie, because since Crash Bandicoot 2, he was always beside Engine. Engine was always beside Dr. Neocortex. Always, because he was always loyal to him. He was prepared to do anything for him and everything, even when Cortex, kicked his ass by Cortex and everything. When you get the idea, he was always very loyal to him and everything. So, and of course, when we talk about the time travel and everything, that's the good proof that Dr. Nefarious Tropy is gonna be in it and everything. And of course, as henchmen, Dingodile, Tiny. For me, they're perfect, and of course, they're with all the henchmen of Cortex, Tiny and Dingodile are most popular than anyone else. Most popular than Ripper Row, Pinstrier Potero, or Papu Papu, or Koala Kong, or most of them, in some sort of way. So, like I said, Dingodile, Tiny, Dr. Nefarious Tropy, Engine, Dr. Neocortex, and Uka Uka. Those, for me, are the perfect enemy gang for the movie. And of course, maybe also they can also put down a Bandicoot, Crash's girlfriend, in the movie. Because she only appeared in the first game, so maybe they can put even her. I mean, I don't know. But, if they ever try to make... now we came to the voice actors. Okay, when we talk about the movie, I really wish that maybe 50% of the voice actors who voiced the characters in the video game, they return for the movie. For example, like Dr. Neocortex, voiced by Clancy Brown. Yes, in the movie, I want Clancy Brown, who voiced Lex Luthor and Mr. Krabs, I want to voice Cortex again. Like he did from the second video game to Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex. To Nitro Kart. I really want Clancy Brown to voice Cortex again. For the other henchmen, for example, like Engine, N.Tropy, and the others, maybe they can be voiced from famous actors, or the same actors who voiced him, in the video games. For example, like Brendan O'Brien voiced Tiny, in the video game, or for example, like Engine was also voiced by Brendan O'Brien in the second game. Then, or maybe Noah North who voiced him, or Corey Barton. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities and voice actors or famous actors who can voice them. Well, for Crash Bandicoot, it will not be very difficult because he's every single time he's in the comic way he can't talk. The only ever word he ever said was pancakes, nothing more. But okay, when we talk about that, the animation of the video game, the animation of the movie, what I really want is like it was in the old ones. That animation, that graphic. Not in the design of the characters. Not like I don't want the ones like in Mind Over Mutant or Crash of the Titans, because they were horrible. They were horrible. I really want the designs to be in the same way, maybe a little bit different, but in the same way like it was in the old video games. So and when we talk about the movie, like I said before, I really wish they have that exactly the same feeling like you're trying to play the video game. When he goes to the adventure, the fights. The boss fights, again when he's fighting against Cortex and his henchmen, so way like similar to the boss fight. I really want to have that if they ever made a movie, they have that video game feeling, the adventure, comedy, mostly comedy, because Crash Bandicoot is mostly targeted not only in adventure but mostly comedy, because Crash Bandicoot in a way how he's play, how he act. and his deaths, they're always, they're always made in a, they always deliver a punchline at the end. So mostly comedy. So I mean, there's not a lot to talk about the movie and everything, but I expect a lot of things about it. And also, if they want to talk about voice actors, I really wish that the voice actor, I actually can't remember his name. I really wish that voice actor, I really wish the actor who voiced Dr. Nefarious N.Tropy in Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped and Crash Bandicoot Twin Sanity Team Racing, I really want him back to voice N.Tropy in the movie if he ever made him or he appeared in the movie, because he is the perfect voice. I mean, Curry Barton voiced him in the Wrath of Cortex, but he didn't have exactly the same sinister evil voice like the first one, the original one. So I really want him back. Clancy Brown also for Cortex, and for Engine, the other ones maybe they can find the same voice actors, or maybe they can also have other famous actors to voice the other characters in the movie. Because for example, like they did with Ratchet and Clank, because they have Giamatti in it, they have John Goodman in it, they have Sylvester Stallone in it. So in the same way, they can also make this possible for Crash Bandicoot movie. That's the way. So, like I said, the plot has to be something between or something connected with the first 3 games, because this will be a perfect and ideal beginning as to make a Crash Bandicoot movie. In that way, how I see it. I mean, like travel back in time, the adventures, the crystals, the gems. Maybe maybe they can also put the crystals and the gems in it. I don't know, but so at the beginning it has to be like the creation of Crash Bandicoot, then the meeting between Coco and him. The beginning of the first adventure, and the conflict between Cortex and Crash, and that's the end of the movie. So I want to be very I don't want the extra to be so epic Crash Bandicoot movie, but I want to be perfect on the same level like he was in the video game. That's the way how I see it. How I see Crash Bandicoot movie. So. Yeah, that's I'm done. I just wish to have a little bit of discussion. So I don't know if they ever gonna make a Crash Bandicoot movie, but I think it's about time to make one. So like we did with Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper. So it's about time to make a Crash Bandicoot movie, and also Jack and Dexter, because those are the kind of video games who deserve a movie. Even though a lot of people said that the Ratchet and Clank doesn't deserve one, he deserved it, and also Crash Bandicoot also deserve a movie. So I really want they make a movie. So. Here I am now. I mean, I said what I need to say. So, like I said, I want the same design like in the old games. I want almost 50% of the voice actors, who voiced them in the video games to return, like they did with Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper. I want the adventure and the story, to be to have exactly the same feeling like you were playing the video game. The comedy, the adventure, the depths of Crash Bandicoot, in a funny way and everything. I mean, I want it to be a Crash Bandicoot movie on the same level as the video games. Funny, cool, with action, adventure, and the boss fights to be exactly perfect. So here I am done. Rate the video, comment, subscribe. What you personally think, what do you really wish to see in the Crash Bandicoot movie, if they ever gonna build them. Do you really think Crash Bandicoot movie is gonna be made up and everything? Drop your like, I appreciate it. Peace everyone, have an awesome rest of the day. Laurel Shadows like always signing off, and see you around, Crash Bandicoot fans.